everybody. Welcome back to session 3 of our basic English course. Our topic for today is jobs, and particularly focused on our routines and what we can and can't do at work. So let's go ahead and get started with our first, which is called I Can Do It. Let's take a look at the different skills that we might need for working in different jobs. Okay, so for example, a person might need to, what are they doing in the first picture?
Make coffee.
They might need to make coffee. Okay, and in the second? Looks like they're serving
Server customers.
serving customers. Serving customers. Okay. In the third, this person, sorry,
Give presentation.
presentations. I think that this person needs to
Oh,
speak English.
speak English.
That's what it seems like to me. Okay. So let's go ahead, let's cross these out. So make coffee, serve customers, speak English. What else might someone need to do in a job?
Work with other person. With other people.
With other people. Okay, good. Work with other people. Okay. Or they might need to
Give presentations.
patients. Okay. Or maybe
Write reports.
reports. Okay.
Use social media.
Social media. Okay. And
Use the cash register.
perfect. Okay. So we're going to listen to this conversation between Tony, who is looking for a job, and the person who is hiring for this job. Okay. And we're going to decide or determine which of these jobs Tony is applying for. Is he applying to work at City Coffee or at Bike Love? Okay. Let's listen.
Hi, are you the manager? My name's Tony. I'm here about the job.
Yes, I'm the manager. I have a few questions for you. Can you make coffee?
Oh, yes, I can make coffee. I'm a barista.
Great. I guess you can serve customers too.
That's right, I can serve customers with a smile.
Okay, very good. Can you speak English?
Yes, I can. A bit.
Good. Can you use a cash register?
No, I can't. But I can learn.
I'm sure you can. When can you start?
So, which of these jobs is Tony applying for?
Customer service.
Yes. And so is that at the coffee shop or the bike shop?
The coffee shop.
Yes, he's applying to work as a barista at a coffee shop.
Barista.
Yes. Okay. So, according to what we listened to, what the manager said, what skills does he need to be able to do that job?
Um, use the cash register.
Yes, he needs to use the cash register. Okay, what else?
Make a coffee.
Yes, he needs to make coffee. Okay, what else?
Speak English.
Speak English. Okay. And one more thing. He needs to be able to serve customers.
Customers.
Yeah, serve customers. Okay. Which skills does he have currently? Which things did he say, yes, I can do that?
He speaks English.
Yes, he can speak English. Okay. Good. What else?
He's a barista. He used to make coffee,
Right, so he can make coffee. Okay.
and he speak yes, he speak English, and that's all. And serve customers.
Yeah, serve customers. So the one that he says, no, I can't do that is which one?
Um, uh, uh, Use the cash register.
He says, I can't, but I can learn. Right. Okay. So does Tony get the job?
Yes, they yes, he does.
How do we know that he gets the job?
The manager
She says, when can you start?
went to say,
Yes, so we know that he was offered the job. Okay, so let's look at some of these phrases that they used. Okay, so for example, she asked, can you make coffee? He replied, oh yes, I can make coffee. She asked, can you speak English? Yes, I can. Can you use a cash register? No, I can't. So this verb can is poder. We use this to talk about our abilities. Okay. This is a special type of verb called a modal verb. And what that means is that we don't conjugate it in the same way as regular verbs. Okay. So, for instance, we don't use the word to before the verb can, like we would with other verbs. We also don't conjugate it. So, for example, with other verbs, with he, she, or it, we would add an S to the end. For example, he lives, he goes. Okay? But we don't do that with these types of verbs. They're not conjugated in the present. Okay? So, it's correct to say, I can speak English. It's not correct to say, I can to speak English. Okay. So there are other verbs like this. They're called modal verbs. There are about 8 of them that are conjugated in that way. And we'll look at more in the future. But for today, we'll focus on can. Okay. So the negative form of can is cannot, which is often shortened to can't. Okay. We structure the question by saying, can someone verb. And we answer the question by saying, yes, someone can, or no, someone can't. So, one thing, at least in American English, is that many times we don't pronounce the letter T very strongly. Okay, so it's very possible that instead of the word can't, the very strong T, you might hear it pronounced more like can't. Okay, so it can lead to confusion because they sound similar. Okay. So what we actually want to be listening for, the difference between can and can't, is actually the vowel sound in the middle. So when we say this word can, it's very common to shorten it or say it more quickly and say can. The sound of C, the sound of N, can. Okay, so we don't hear very much of a vowel sound in the middle, can. Okay, but with can't, even if we're not pronouncing the T at the end very strongly, we are pronouncing the vowel sound in the middle, can. Okay, so can, can't. It's pretty easy to hear the difference when we say it like that. Okay, so I'm going to pause the screen and I'm going to look at some phrases, and I'm going to read a phrase with either can or can't. Okay. And I want you to tell me, am I saying can, positive, or can't, negative? Ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the first phrase is, I can speak English. I can speak English.
I can speak English.
I can. Okay. Am I saying can, positive, or can't, negative? I can speak English.
Can.
Can.
I can speak English.
Can. Positive. That's right. Okay. I can't speak Italian.
I can't speak Italian.
Yes. No. What languages can you speak?
I can speak
What languages can you
Spanish.
In
I
the
can speak.
question, the verb is can, right? It just sounds like can. What languages can you speak? Okay. Okay. What about, can you use a cash register? Can you use a cash register? Is
I
that a
can't use the cash register.
is that a can in the question? Is that a can positive or can't negative?
Can't.
Can. The question is can. Here, let me show you. That's why I said it more like, can you use? Can you use a cash register?
Can you?
Okay. And what about, yes, I can. Positive or negative? Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Can. No, I
Can.
can't.
No, I can't.
Can't. Is negative, right? Okay. Now, let's take a look at this conversation between Isabel and a manager. Okay. So the first person, Isabel, says, hi, I want to know more about the job in the sales department. The manager says, okay, we need someone who, should she say can to work or can work with other people? which is correct.
Can work with
Yes.
other people.
Yes, can work because this is a modal verb. It is a special type of verb that does not use the preposition to before the following verb. So, can work. Okay. So, would Isabel say, I can work or I can working with other people?
I can work with other people.
Yes, I can work with other people. It's not possible to use a continuous verb with can. So it has to be I can work. Great. You can or can you give presentations?
Can you give presentation?
Yes, because it's a question. That means we need to change the order of the words. Okay. All right. Should Isabel say, yes, I can, or yes, I can make?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. And can I or I can also use social media?
And I can also use social media and have great skills.
IT is information technology. Okay. Then the manager says, very good. Can you also speak English? Now, Isabel says, I'm a B2 level. So would that mean that she can or she can't speak English?
Yes, I can. I am B2 level.
Yeah, a B2 is an upper intermediate, a little bit below advanced. So if you are a B2, you can definitely say that you can speak English. Okay, wonderful. Can or cannot you write reports?
Can you write reports?
Can you write reports? Okay. So these would be pronounced, look, we have this word can't without the apostrophe, and here we have it with the apostrophe. Which one is correct?
With apostrophe?
With the apostrophe, that's right. It doesn't change anything related to the pronunciation, but anytime that we have a contraction in writing, we need to use that apostrophe. Okay. And finally, the manager says, can you come for an interview tomorrow? Okay, so we're going to play a game. We're going to guess what the other can do. Okay, so let's take a look at the structure for asking. I think that I forgot to add it, so just give me a second and I will do that. So basically, you are going to guess what I can do, and I am going to guess what you can do. So for example, one of them says, speak 3 languages. So you would say about me, I think you can, or I don't think you can speak 3 languages. Okay, so I forgot to add this. I'm going to add it right now. There it goes. Okay. So when we say creo que puedes, okay, we say I think you can, okay? But if we want to say the opposite, no creo que puedas, okay? What we want to say instead of I think you can't, what we want to say is I don't think you can, okay? So is it possible to say I think you can't? Yeah, it's possible, but we don't usually say it that way. Right? So we would say either I think you can speak more than 3 languages, or I don't think you can speak more than 3 languages. Okay. So we're going to guess. And I'm going to start with you. I'm going to guess and say that I don't think you can speak more than 3 languages.
Um,
So my
I
guess
think
is no. And can you speak more than 3 languages?
no, I can't.
Okay. All right. I think that you can drive a car.
Mm, no, I can't. I
Can't?
can drive. Can't drive a car.
Okay. Can't drive a car. Okay. I think you can swim.
No, I can't
No?
swim.
Can't swim.
No,
Okay. All right. I think you can cook dinner.
just I can cook dinner.
Okay. I don't think you can play the piano.
No, I can't play the piano.
Okay. I think you can use a cash register.
No, I can't use the cash register.
But you're an accountant. I thought you were good with things like that, like managing money.
No.
Can't. Okay, you can't. All right. All right. Okay. I think that you can give presentations.
Yes, I can give presentation.
Okay. And I think you can. I needed to move it down a little, but it says remember 3 items of vocabulary from the last lesson. I think you can do that.
I can remember 3 items
You
of
can or
vocabulary.
you can't.
Can. I can.
Okay,
Can.
good. So, all right. So my score for you is, how many did I get right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 1, 2, 3. Okay, 5 out of 8. I was correct. So, 8 for me. Okay, now you are going to guess what you think I can do. So you're going to say, I think you can, or I don't think you can. Okay. So do you think that I can speak more than 3 languages?
The question is about you.
About lo que tú piensas de mí. That if I can speak
Okay.
more than 3
I
languages.
I think you can speak more than 3 languages.
3 languages? No, I can't. I can speak only 2.
Um,
Do
I
you
think you can drive a car.
Yes, I can.
Mhm. I think you can swim.
Yes, I can.
Mhm. I think you can cook dinner.
Yes, I can.
I don't think you can play the piano.
No, I can't. I could when I was a child. Could is the past of can, but I can't anymore.
I don't think you use the cash register.
No, I can't use a cash register.
I think you can give presentation.
Yes, I can.
I think you remember the items of vocabulary from the last lesson.
Yes, I can. Okay, so your score is 7 out of 8. Very good. Okay. So let's take a look at these phrases. And what we want to do is, for example, pay attention to, like here it says question, and then it says he and positive short answer. So to give you an example of the first, it would go like, can he cook dinner? And the answer would be yes, he can. Okay. Now, how would we make a positive sentence about dancing for we?
Can we
It's a
dance? I don't know.
like an affirmation. So to say like
We
we can
we
English,
can we can dance.
we can dance. Okay. What about ride a bike? A negative sentence.
I can't ride a bike.
I can't bike. Okay. Play the piano. Question you and negative short answer.
Can you play the piano? No, I can't, or you can.
I'm not sure if the answer is given by you or the other person, but I can't or you can't. Okay. Swim. A formal, what do they mean by formal? They mean that we should not use the contraction can't. Okay. So swim, formal, negative sentence, and she.
She cannot
Yes.
swim.
Perfect. She cannot swim. Okay, there's a few more. Speak English, question, and they, positive, long answer. So the long answer is instead of just saying somebody can, we want to say somebody can do something. Complete sentence. Okay.
Mhm. Can they speak English?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the answer
Um,
is
yes, they can speak English.
they can speak English. Okay. Use chopsticks. Positive sentence. I.
I can use jobs.
Perfect. Okay. Drive a car. Question he and positive short answer.
Can he drive a car? Yes, he can. He can.
Yes. Car. Yes, he can. Okay, so I think that we're going to skip this one. Any more questions before we continue?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is called the working day. So we're going to talk a little bit more about jobs. And we're going to start by matching the names of these jobs to the pictures below. Okay, so the person in the first picture What kind of work does she do?
Mm, a journalist.
The first person?
Mhm. Oh, mhm.
What is my job?
Teacher.
Yeah. She's a
Yes.
teacher. Yeah, it looks like maybe elementary school, young kids.
Mhm.
Okay. What about person number two?
She's a student.
Yes, she's a student. Okay. Person three is
Sales clerk.
yeah, this is just a general term for someone who works in a store as some type of assistant. We sometimes call them a sales associate. It's also possible. But yeah, just a store employee. Okay. What about person four?
Nurse.
Yes, this is a nurse. Okay. Person five is a,
She's a police officer.
yes, a police officer. Okay. Six is a,
She's a journalist.
he's a journalist. Yeah. We could also call him a news reporter. It looks like he's reporting the news. But a journalist is usually someone who writes publications like Periodista. But it looks like he is also reporting, so he's also a news reporter. What about person seven?
She's a doctor.
She's a doctor. Okay. And the last person?
Actor, actress.
Yeah. So that's a good well, it's a good moment to bring up the what I wanted to tell you was gender in professions. Okay. So it used to be that many professions, like let's say, for example, a police officer, we used to call a police officer a policeman because in the past, most police officers were men. It used to be that way for a lot of jobs. For example, a firefighter was called a fireman, or a mail or delivery person was a mail man or delivery man. Okay. Now we have, and we usually use these gender neutral terms for these people. Okay. So most of the time, for jobs like doctor, nurse, teacher, engineer, lawyer, those jobs don't have a gender. Okay. So a doctor can be a man or woman, of course. Some genders can, sorry, some professions can have a gender. It's possible to say, for example, fireman, firewoman, police man, police woman, male man, male woman. Those are all possible. It's also possible to say firefighter. That's a gender neutral term. That means this could be a man or it could be a woman. Okay? Police officer, male carrier, male deliverer. Okay? So, with the term actor, actress, it's one of the few professions that is still gendered, meaning that men are usually called actors, women are usually called actresses. It's changing little by little, okay? And some actresses, some women now want to be called actors. Actor can be a man or a woman, but a woman can be called an actress too. So it's just something that is something that evolves over time. The language changes to become more gender neutral. Okay, so this person we could call an actor or an actress because it's a woman. Okay. So let's listen to this recording about Alice and her routine, and we'll answer some questions.
My name is Alice. I get up early at 6 o'clock, have breakfast, and go to work at 6:45. I get to work before 8, and then I make coffee. I work from 8:30 until 4:15, but I don't really finish until 5 o'clock. When I leave work, I'm tired but happy. I get home around 6, and then I have dinner and take a shower. I also work in the evening. Sometimes I don't go to bed until midnight. Do I work hard? Yes, I do. But I love the children. And I don't work in the summer.
Okay, so let's decide if these sentences are true or false. Okay, so it says here, Alice goes to work an hour after she gets up. Is that true or false?
It's false.
False.
Alice go
Let's correct it. So Alice goes to work
2 hours.
So she, what we
Yeah.
are, when we say go to work, we mean leave the house. Like we start our trip to work. Okay. That's actually a good point because we say go to work. Ir al trabajo. But get to work is llegar al trabajo. So the question is, ¿a qué hora se va? What time does she go to work?
Around 6.
She goes to work 45 minutes
Mhm.
after she gets up, okay? Because here it says, I get up at 6 and go to work at 6:45. Okay, so that's 45 minutes after she wakes up. Okay. Alice takes a shower in the morning. Is that true or false?
It's false.
It's false. Okay, so how can we correct it? Alice
Alice take a shower.
takes a shower in the evening or after dinner.
After dinner.
Evening is basically around dinner time. Okay? So it's a word that doesn't have an exact translation. Around dinner time. So for some people, evening might start around 5 p.m. and it might end around 9 p.m. Okay? But that can vary a little bit depending on the person. Okay. So if she has dinner, let's say at 6 o'clock, then she might have a shower at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. Alice's job is easy. True or false?
It's false.
How do we know it's false?
Mm,
It says she works hard. Do I work hard?
mhm.
Yes, I
Yes, I
do.
do.
Uh-huh. Okay, so
Because
Alice
she
works.
works hard.
Her work, yeah, she works hard. Okay. Alice can relax in the summer.
It's true.
It's true. She doesn't work in the summer.
Because she doesn't work in
Yeah,
the
she's a
store.
teacher. Okay. And Alice sometimes sleeps for 6 hours.
It's true.
Yes, because she gets up at 6. Sometimes she doesn't go to
She
bed until
go to
midnight.
the
Uh-huh. Midnight is the medianoche, or 12. Okay, good. Okay, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we're going to see if we can take these sentences and turn them into questions. Okay. So, for example, here we would ask, does Alice get up at 6? The answer is yes, she does. Okay. How would we turn this? I make coffee at work. How would we turn that into a question?
does she make
But if I was
coffee
asking
at
if it
work?
was a conversation between me and you, what would you say?
Mm,
Okay,
do you make
uh-huh,
do you make coffee at work?
do you make coffee at work? Okay. And what is the true answer for you? Do you make coffee at work?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. Alice works for 6 hours. How can we make that a question?
Does Alice work for 6 hours?
Okay. And the answer?
Yes, yes, she does.
She does. So actually, let's see. So she works at 8:30. So that's 8:30, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 4. Oh, actually, that's more than 6 hours. Okay. So she works basically from 8:30 to 5. So she works a little bit more than 8 hours. So does Alice work for 6 hours? No,
No, she doesn't.
she doesn't. Okay. Alice takes a shower after dinner.
Does Alice take a shower after dinner?
The answer?
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does. Okay. I go to bed early.
Do you go to the bed early?
Okay. And the answer for you?
No, I don't.
I don't. It's 11:20 for anyone who's wondering. Okay. Teachers work hard.
It's not. Um, those, no,
So
no,
if we're talking about teachers, it's plural, they. So you would say,
do teachers
uh, "Do teachers work hard?"
work hard? Yes, they do.
Ew. Mhm. Okay. Alice works in the summer.
Those Alice work in the summer?
Summer. Okay.
No, they doesn't. No, she doesn't.
Okay. Teachers love children.
Do teachers love children?
Mhm.
Yes, they do.
Some of them. Sometimes. Everybody has had at least one teacher that did not love children. So I'm going to ask you these questions and you're going to answer them. If the answer is no, you're going to correct it. So for example, you would say like, no, I don't, I get up at 7, for example. Okay. So do you get up at 6?
No, I don't. I get up at 5.
Very early. Okay. Do you have breakfast every day?
And yes, I do.
Yeah, when you give the short answer, you say just yes, I do. It's not, I mean, you could say yes, I have breakfast every day. That's not typically how we talk. We typically would just say yes or yes, I do. It's not necessary to repeat everything. Okay. So remember here the difference between go to and get to. Okay. So go to is when you leave your house. Get to is when you arrive. Okay. So do you go to work or school at 8?
No, I don't. I go to the work at 7:30.
7:30.
7:30.
7:30. Okay. Do you get to work or school at 9? Meaning arrive.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Okay. Do you finish work or school at 6?
No, I don't. I finish work at 8:30, more or less.
Very late. Do you, well, I know the answer. Do you leave work tired?
Yes, I do.
Yes, obviously. Okay. Do you have dinner at 7:30?
No, I don't. I have dinner at 9 or night and 9:30.
9 or 9:30?
Mhm.
Okay. And well, do you go to bed at 10:45?
No, I don't. I get to the bed at midnight.
At midnight. Midnight. Okay. So it's a very long day for you.
Yes.
Excellent. I can imagine. All right. Let's look at one more activity. I think this is the last. And what we want to do is conjugate the verb correctly. Okay. So, for example, if we're talking about Alan, we would use a verb with an S at the end. We're talking about him in the present. Okay. If it's a negative verb, like for example, not, we want to say don't or doesn't before the verb. So let's try this activity. It says, Alan is from England, but he
Live
did
in
you say
Tokyo.
live or lives?
Lives
He lives with an S in Tokyo. I'm a journalist for an English language magazine, and I
and I write
and you write
and I write about life in Japan.
every morning he
Get up early
gets up with the S. He gets up early and
and get home at
so
6:45.
we're talking about his morning routine. So he gets up early, and then what would you do? Like after you had breakfast, what would you do? Like go to work, right?
Leave
Yeah, so he leaves home again with
leaves
S. Yeah, so he leaves home at 6:45. Okay.
I cook breakfast.
But he says there's no time. So it seems to me that it should be an
I
active.
I think I
Don't.
I don't have.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have breakfast. There's no time. My home is very far from my office, and
I get
meaning
to the
arrive.
work 2 hours late.
Yeah, I get to work 2 hours later. Okay. He
He finish
finishes
work finishes work
finishes
at
work.
6.
Okay, good. Right. My wife
Works
I think that he's
um,
saying like she has a long day, she finishes late.
she doesn't get home
My wife doesn't get home
before 8.
before 8. She's a doctor. Okay. What would be the question here? We need an auxiliary, she, and the main verb.
Does she work hard?
Hard? Oh, yes. Okay.
They go to the bed. No, they cook dinner
Cook dinner.
and go to the bed late at 11 o'clock.
Go to bed late at 11 o'clock. Good. Okay. So I think that's it for today. Any questions?
No, clear.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much again for taking class. We will hopefully be meeting again in the next few days and working on our next lesson, which is about hobbies and free time. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So I will see you and everyone else next week and have a good night. Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night,
See
bye.
you. Bye.